Let's talk about safety for a minute. Now, this is probably the most important part of any set you're on. It doesn't matter how brilliant your film is or how it's going to change the world if someone gets hurt on set. And this includes physical hurt. It includes emotional hurt. It includes spiritual hurt. Let's be real. We are Christians making films. And if we are jerks on set and don't uphold the dignity of our cast and crew, it reflects poorly on the body of Christ. So you're not just making a movie. If you are a student on behalf of Regent University or anyone who says, I am a Christian who makes films, and you don't treat people like a Christian on set, it reflects poorly on Christ. Point blank. And this is true for anything we do in life. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you say you're a Christian, or if you just are a Christian, guys, let's not worry about semantics. Do the best you can do. Don't do the worst you can do and hope you can get away with it. So this includes making sure that your cast and crew is safe. It secondarily includes making sure your equipment and the locations that you film in are safe. And it also includes just respecting all of the resources you've been given, including people's time. So that's why we have a lot of rules and regulations in the film industry. They're about making sure it'll be safe and usable, because if an accident happens or things are violated, your project isn't going to be able to be used anyway. Think about if you're uncomfortable with the situation, it probably is a problem. If you think something should be said, say it. Don't let it go. I think everyone who has worked in film for any period of time has had some of those times that they were on set and they go, man, I really should have spoke up. I want to help you guys to know to speak up. You have the equipment office phone number. You have on-campus police. You have the police if you're shooting off campus. If there is a true immediate emergency, call them. Do not wait. Do not let it go. If there is something that looks preventable, try to solve it amongst yourselves. Talk to the assistant director, the producer, the department head if it's appropriate. But don't let it go. If you see something unsafe, speak up. The safety protocols that we have you sign are exceedingly important. If you violate them, that's it. I am failing any projects that violate those safety protocols because it's not worth it, guys. You also have my phone number if you are shooting a project for one of my classes. If you have a problem and you're not sure how to handle it and you've tried everything that I already went over in this, yes, call me so that we can try to work through it. It's just not worth it to let it go. Some of those things are putting actors in unsafe situations. Every producer or the responsible person for a shoot, really there is a producer for every shoot, even if it is just a project for sound design. If it is just you making a radio story and no one else is involved, then you're that person, right? You're the producer. You're producing your own audio story. So don't think it's just a little shoot, I can ignore these things. So you will need to submit your scripts to your safety officer at least a week before you film. I really recommend earlier, especially if you have safety concerns. Now, I'm not going to read verbatim the safety concerns to you guys. That's why there is a document. And if we change this a little bit, I don't want to have to redo this video. But weapons are to be used with extreme care. No real weapons can be used at any time. There are safe ways to use prop weapons, but don't just think you're gonna go grab an airsoft gun or use a gun without a bullet in it. Read the protocols and discuss it with your professor. You've gotta be careful that you don't do anything that could hurt or damage or injure property or people. Any kind of fighting, including pushing, slapping, falling, needs proper planning. You cannot just have a fake fight and think that you know how to coordinate it yourself. There is a resource with students who have gone through BASH to help you as a coordinator for any fighting. So read over those protocols carefully if you have any of that in your script. If anyone is falling, a safety mat must be used. It does not matter if the fall is seen on camera or off, and if it's off camera, there is no reason for an actor to really fall, but there must always be a safety mat. Don't let an actor fall on the ground. Keep in mind that there are a lot of stunts that actors just shouldn't do, and that's why there are trained stunt personnel. Don't push the envelope. It is not worth it to get your project failed, and far worse, potentially hurt someone. Make sure you pay attention to anything that may need special permission, like filming from helicopters or planes. Don't just assume it's okay. Read the protocols. A couple of things that are further on in the protocols sheet that sometimes get forgotten is general physical safety of every cast and crew member in regard to food and hydration. People need to be drinking water. If it is hot out, they need to be drinking more water and have opportunity for shade and cooling off. Don't overpush your people. The meal rules are important so that people do eat within 6 hours of being called to set, because people get weak and make mistakes. Just don't ignore those protocols, guys. If somebody gets hurt, make sure they get to the hospital. Make sure they get to urgent care. Don't let it go. And finally, make sure you have all of your proper permissions. A lot of those permissions are actually safety protocols. If you don't have them done, you may not know about a safety concern within wherever you're filming. And certainly if you're doing anything like using prop guns, you want the police to be aware, very aware of what you're doing so something else doesn't happen. But end of the day, really, this is about being responsible, respectful people. If you hurt someone on it, it's not worth it. So pay attention to these safety protocols. As a student, you have access to liability insurance. You have to file your forms properly. If you're on campus and you're shooting on campus, you don't have to get insurance, but if you're shooting in somebody's dorm room, you do. Even though it's a university-owned property, the student who is occupying that space still needs to sign a location agreement, and you need to get a certificate of insurance to cover all their stuff. So don't skip those things. You can use volunteers who are not Regent faculty, staff, students, but you can't use anyone who has been barred from the university. There's a volunteer form to fill out for anyone who's volunteering who's not currently affiliated with the university, but it doesn't matter if it's on or off campus. If somebody has been suspended, expelled, banned from the campus, they also cannot be on your shoot. Guys, this is an important safety concern. There is likely a reason, and they may be angry with the university and with you over something, so don't push it. Now, for sound, here are a few additions. You need to be careful about cables and people tripping. You've got to be careful that you don't break things with your cables. And we're really going to get into lav safety with people and respect in another module. So we'll go over those separately. Have fun and be safe.